Hello, everyone. Coming to you live from this Seattle storm that is shaking the entire house, and rain is just hammering into the windows. So hopefully you can't hear that through the mic. But today we're going to be talking about college life, fraternities, Greek life, and all the peer pressure that comes with that. Now, a lot of you know me as the host of Hold My Drink, a sobriety podcast, but not a lot of you know me as a person and my story. And so I just quickly want to give you some insight into my experience with college life, because I don't really have any, but I've witnessed it from the outside, as many of us do. So I've been a model for 13 years, and I started modeling when I was 16. And I didn't go to college. After high school, I got the offer to go be a model in Greece. And then I lived in Turkey, and then Italy, and then Singapore, and then New York, and Los Angeles. Anyway, I forewent the college experience. I skipped college. I'm so grateful that I did, by the way. I have a lot of thoughts on college, and that is a conversation for another time, but it hasn't prohibited me from accomplishing any of my goals. I've always been interested in marketing, social media, creative industries, and so a college degree has not prohibited me from accomplishing any of my dreams. And I lived a pretty freaking kick-ass life, to be honest, during the years where a lot of my peers were in college. I was living abroad, modeling, and it was a really, really cool life experience. I always joke that I went to the University of Life because I just learned so much and got to experience so many lives, it feels like, during those years. And then I went on reality TV. I went on America's Next Top Model, and I won. And so that led to a whole different string of events. I had a very cool young 20s and late teens, but a lot of people spend those years in college, and that is the topic of today's episode. It makes me really sad when I hear about the pressures of college and drinking and Greek life. And, you know, I'm not discouraging people to go to college in this episode, but I am going to be encouraging people to go to college for the right reasons and not to party. And also just provide some tips for how to avoid peer pressure, because you don't have to do anything you don't want to do. And that's what bothers me. I almost get emotional thinking about it because I have past significant others and even siblings who've gone to college and experienced Greek life. And so I've heard all these stories, and it just breaks my heart, honestly. It breaks my heart that these kids go through this stuff, and you're so impressionable at that age, and somebody can tell you to do something and you'll just want to do it so you can be part of the group. I mean, it breaks my heart. So anyways, today's not going to be the most uplifting episode. I'm going to talk about some intense stuff, but let's get right into it, shall we? Welcome to Hold My Drink, a sobriety podcast. This is a no judgment zone. I really freaking like my life without alcohol. You're not alone. I hope you feel seen. Sobriety has changed my life completely. Okay, so let's talk about college as a whole. A lot of people, I think, feel pressured to go to college because society wants us to go to college. Again, like I said, that's another conversation about my theories with universities in general. I kind of believe that they just want to produce good employees and not create entrepreneurs anyways. So a lot of people go to college for the experience, not for the education, and because they feel like they have to, basically. That's what I was getting at. But yeah, college is there to provide you with a higher education, job opportunities, all the information that you're going to need to know for your field of work. College is not there to teach you how to party, to give you friends that you pay for, to teach you quote unquote life lessons, because let's be real, college is its own universe. That is its own world, and it doesn't directly translate to the outside world. I mean, yes, you might make some friends who you're so close with and they're almost like your brothers or your sisters. I mean, they become family, but that's not real life. And I think sometimes this happens to people in high school too, but sometimes we feel that college or high school and all the drama that goes on is real life. And that's why I feel so bad for high schoolers and middle schoolers who are going through bad times. I just want to shake them and tell them, like, it gets better. This is not real life. You're in this weird world right now of high school, and you'll get out. Okay. Same for college. Like, that is its own world, and it doesn't translate to real life. So those college experiences that you're having, everybody experiments in college and all the college parties with the drinking games and the flipping the red cups and whatever else, like, that's an experience for sure, but it's not real life. And I don't want people to think that they have to go to college and experience that. College is for getting an education. And yes, you make some great friends along the way. But if you're going to college to party and experience the college life, like, those are not the right reasons, in my opinion. I think you should know what you want to study. You should be focused on your field of work and getting a degree. And yeah, enjoying it along the way and meeting people through clubs and activities and things like that. But let's talk about peer pressure in college, and specifically Greek life. So I guess they call it hazing for Greek life. And that word just makes my skin crawl, because it's basically bullying people into doing things they don't want to do in order to get accepted into the group. That is horrible. And I know it's been banned at a lot of college campuses, but has it really been banned? I mean, I don't really know anybody who's in college right now going through that, but has it really been banned? Because I'm sure there are still things that you have to do or participate in to get into these clubs or whatever, the fraternities or sororities. I don't know what sororities do. I have brothers, and my significant others are men. And so I'm coming at this from a fraternity perspective. I don't know what the sororities do. But some of the stories I have heard are absolutely heartbreaking. Like, you'll get with your little, so it's an older student, a senior or something, with a freshman. First of all, very intimidating. The freshman is very impressionable. They're brand new to all this. They're like, wow, this person's so cool. Like, they're high up at the fraternity, and they're a senior, and they're awesome, and they've done this, they've done that, been there, whatever that phrase is. They want to be like that person. So if that older person says, tonight we're splitting a fifth of vodka and we have to finish it, then you're going to do it. And it's so sad to me. It literally is so sad. I mean, kids die. And if they don't die, they're in the hospital getting their stomach pumped. I mean, there's so many awful things that go on at college campuses, and it's all because of this peer pressure. I hate fraternities. I hate Greek life. I hate for these kids to feel peer pressured. It's awful. I want to shake them and say, you can make decisions for yourself. You can say, I don't want to do that. And if they force you to do that, or say, well, then you're not going to be you're not going to be part of the fraternity, then you say, okay, no problem. There are better people out there for you who do not force you to do things that you don't want to do. You can always say no to anything. Always. The binge drinking that goes on at college campuses is insane. And you don't know what you're drinking, and that's why there's a lot of the, I don't know what I can say on this platform without getting banned or something, but a lot of bad things happen at college campuses between men and women, if you know what I'm saying, especially due to the binge drinking or, roofing and other things that go on. I mean, gosh, I've heard about jungle juice. You guys ever heard of jungle juice? Apparently they get this giant tub and fill it with bottles and bottles of random liquor. It's a mix of liquor mixed with Gatorade, mixed with lemonade, mixed with whatever you can find. And then they just put a ladle in there and you serve it like punch. And it's called jungle juice. I didn't go to college, and so I have never witnessed these things firsthand. But that's insane. I mean, that's a recipe for disaster. And kids are getting plastered, and it's sad. And I've heard so many stories about the older kids forcing the younger kids to do things, whether that's drinking in excess or going and buying alcohol underage or driving to go get something when they've been drinking. It's so heartbreaking, honestly. I hate the peer pressure aspect. I hate the binge drinking aspect of it. And I hate that kids are considered cool if they participate in those things. You're not cool for preparing some jungle juice for the group or finishing a fifth of vodka with one other person in a night. It's sad. It's horrible. I hate that stuff. Also, aside from alcohol, the hazing stories that I've heard are disgusting. And I feel like it should be talked about more often. And if you have kids who are high school or, about to be college age, talk to them about this. Because kids do not have to do those horrible things to make friends. There are ways to make friends and meet people who will love you and appreciate you for you without you having to do some bizarre thing with your body or alcohol or, dressing a certain way, doing a certain type of thing with your other fraternity, sorority members. It's weird. It's very weird. The hazing, the drinking, it's all, so disgusting. And I hate how normalized it is. And if you're not part of Greek life and you're still on college campuses or you went to college, I'm sure you've seen just the general drinking in excess. Alcohol is so surrounded around, college is so surrounded around alcohol. It's such a pivotal part of the college experience. Hello, everybody. This is your host, India Gantz, just popping in to tell you about my new Facebook support group. It's called Hold My Drink, a sobriety support group, and I will leave the link to join in the description. This support group is going to be a place where we can all connect and talk to each other one-on-one, ask advice, tell stories, provide information, and just connect with a sober community. The really cool thing about AA is that you actually meet people in real life and connect, and that's awesome and all, but AA was never for me, and I still love to have that feeling of a sober community and being connected with my peers. So I intend for this Facebook page to be exactly that, a place where we can connect with each other and support each other. I understand that podcasts are a place where we mostly consume and listen and we don't actively participate. Of course, I would love a review if you have a moment or a rating, but I get that usually we're just listening to podcasts to listen and not actively participate. And this Facebook page will be a space where we can all actively participate and communicate and talk to each other and message each other and connect with people in your area and just be a resource for other people looking to get sober and stay sober. So feel free to join at the link in the description. Now let's get back to the show. That's another thing that I will just never understand as somebody who didn't go to college is the types of partying. Like, I don't like house parties. And in my sobriety, I really don't like house parties because in my opinion, alcohol is the only thing going on at house parties. Yes, sometimes they have some weird drinking game like flipping cups or throwing dice. Ooh, exciting. Some of those are actually pretty fun. But oftentimes, you stand around and you drink, and that is the event. Drinking is the event. There's nothing else going on. And that's why I hate house parties in my sobriety, because I am a sober person who doesn't mind going out and doing things with drinking people and going out and doing things where most everyone there is drinking. I'm fine with that in my sobriety journey. But things like house parties where there's nothing else to it other than the drinking, I'm like, okay, well, what am I getting from this as the sober person? What does this offer me? Is there any sort of entertainment? Is there somebody here I want to meet? Is there an activity or a purpose to my being here? I mean, house parties, I just hate them. And I think it's because I didn't experience them in college and learn that that's how people party. Like when I was in the partying age, the, 18 to 21, whatever, I was in Europe, like at these really bougie clubs as a model getting free bottle service. And that was my experience with partying in my early 20s and teens. I was not standing around drinking jungle juice at the college campuses. And so I don't understand a lot of that. And just a quick side note on the sobriety house parties thing. Like, I think that in sobriety, you should really identify what you genuinely like doing. Actually, you don't have to try to do that. It will just happen. You will realize what kind of things you like doing because you'll still like doing them in sobriety. And you'll realize what things you only enjoyed doing because there was alcohol involved. For me, That's house parties. Or like sometimes just these really boring tasks that you used to drink for, and so they were fun. In sobriety, you realize that they're not fun. They were just fun because there was alcohol there. Okay, so anyways, back to the college campuses. There is so much bad stuff that goes on college campuses. And that's why I just want people to make sure that their priorities are set straight when they're thinking about going to college. Like, just to go there and waste your 4 years on parties and getting drunk and leave with a mediocre degree that you paid so much money for. You're literally paying to go waste your parents' money and get sloshed at your fraternity. You know, you just have to go at it with the right perspective. I'm sure there are fraternities and sororities that are, you know, good and have some merit and treat their members well. But I'm sure there's a lot that are exclusive and mean and do hazing. I mean, the whole process is so interesting to me, like with Rush and everything. You have to meet these girls and like see if you're going to fit into the sorority. And they'll be more likely to pick you if you're beautiful or have big boobs or whatever. I hate that. I really hate that. And it's so different because my mom was in a sorority and she had the best experience. And, you know, not to age her, but that was back in the 80s. And she has the best friends in the entire world from that sorority. And she had a magical experience. And it was more like a club type of thing where you're all meeting each other. And she was in a very wholesome sorority. And then I hear these stories about how sororities are now. And she says that's nothing like they were in her day. And yeah, it breaks my heart because it would be cool if you could join a sorority and like just make friends and have it be this sisterhood. But there's so much more that goes on there. And another thing that's so weird to me is the whole like dating within your circle. When you're in Greek life at a university, you all date the same people. It's weird. I think it's weird. And I would say I'm not trying to be judgmental, but I guess I am being a little bit judgmental as somebody who didn't go to college and I'm just looking in from the outside. It's such an interesting life, and I just don't want people to think that they have to live their life that way. You don't have to do anything you don't want to do. Newsflash, even though it feels that way sometimes, and especially with the college and fraternity stuff, it feels like you have to do things you don't want to do. Guess what? You don't. You can always make decisions for yourself. And that's why I'm so happy that Gen Z is drinking less alcohol than the prior 3 generations. It's becoming cool to not drink alcohol, and I hope that that withstands through college, university life, Greek life, and all that, because it got to a place that was really, really low, really bad, and it breaks my heart to hear those stories. It's just insane. And also, I just have to say, you never think it's going to be you, or you never think it's going to be your kid who's the one who overdrinks, throws up, and dies in the closet from overdrinking because their fraternity brother forced them to split a bottle of vodka. Like, you never think it's going to be you until it is. So just be careful out there. Make good decisions for yourself. Encourage your kids or, young cousins or whoever, college-aged people in your life. Encourage them to make good decisions for themselves and just be aware of what's out there. I think if you know what to expect going into a college experience, you can make better decisions, Like when my kids are in high school and getting ready to go to college and they decide they want to go to university to study, I'll say, okay, no problem. And you want to join a fraternity? Okay, cool. So here's what's going to happen. They're going to haze you. They're going to make you strip down and do some weird stuff in front of a crowd. They're going to force you to drink obscene amounts of alcohol, and they're going to tell you that not only are they going to not let you into the fraternity if you don't do what they say, but they're also going to embarrass you and spread lies about you. So just know that people are going to say that to you, and know that they are lying and they are crazy, and you don't have to do anything that they tell you to do. And if anybody forces you, if anybody says you're not getting into this fraternity unless you do X, X, and X, then you don't want anything to do with that fraternity anyways. And I would just prepare my children for what's going to happen. Tell them all the crazy things. Tell them what to be aware of, and tell them that they can have a backbone and stand up for themselves. It's hard because when you're going into college, you are transferring from having your parents tell you to do everything, having your meals run by your parents, having your chores run by your parents, having your life decisions, your finances, everything run by your parents, to then instantly into college where you're all on your own and doing it yourself. And you are used to having somebody tell you everything to do. And so when you get to college and these older kids are telling you what to do, you think that you have to listen, and you don't. Those people are not your parents. And in fact, they're not that much wiser than you are. So you don't have to listen to them. They don't have good advice, and anything they force you to do, you can say no to. You don't want anything to do with a fraternity or a sorority that makes you do weird stuff that you don't want to do. And you definitely don't even want to take the risk of over drinking and dying or getting sent to the hospital. It's not worth it to be cool. And like I said, you never expect it's going to be you until you're splitting the fifth with your fraternity brother, and it is you. So please make good decisions for yourself, and for the younger generation, advise them on what can happen at college campuses and just prepare them. That's all you can do, is just make sure that they are prepared and they have the knowledge going into it, so they're not just shocked and like, oh my God, I didn't realize I'd have to do this stuff. Okay, no problem. Johnny says I gotta drink this, keg of beer upside down in order to be a member of the fraternity. I guess I better do it. No. I think being aware of that stuff is the key to not letting it happen to you or your kids. So yeah, bit of a heavier episode, but Greek life and college life just makes me so angry. And I also think it teaches people how to have a drinking problem. A lot of people have messaged me on TikTok saying that their fraternity days were the days where they learned about alcohol and how to drink. And that's how they learned how to drink, is binge drinking, overdoing it, being forced to drink, having other people force you to drink. It's all so unhealthy. That's not setting you up for a successful adult life. And it's not setting up your life to be one of a healthy relationship with alcohol. It's setting you up for failure as far as alcohol goes. So my advice, don't participate in those drinking habits at college campuses. It's not worth it in any way. It will ruin you, not to freak you out. But feel free to say something in the comments. Tell me about your experience. Tell me if I'm wrong, whatever. Let me know your thoughts on this episode in the comments. And please do subscribe if you're enjoying the show. Leave a review, leave a rating. It means a lot and it boosts the show so I can keep going with this. Thank you so much for listening, and I will see you for the next episode. Bye.